Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Thank you so
welcome.
much. Thanks for joining. Welcome. We're going to wait a couple of minutes for everyone to come online. And then we are going to get started.
Excited to have you all here today. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, whilst we're waiting for people to continue logging in, we might just cover a bit of housekeeping before we start. So we'll aim for this session to be around 40 to 50 minutes, plus a little bit of Q&A time if we get time at the end. So we're hoping to wrap this up in about 60 minutes. Watch this space. We might have lots more to share with you, so we'll see how we get on. Um, We'll have the chat box open with the ability for you to drop in any questions as we go. So no need to wait until the end. Feel free just to throw your questions in there organically. We have allocated time at the end of the session to talk through some of the questions. We may get time, we may not. So we'll see how we get on. And shortly, the lovely Jenny and I will be introducing ourselves and we're going to get started.
Nice one. I see the numbers have increased. So without further ado, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for our Hire Like a Hero Masterclass. We are going to be looking at how to identify, attract, and engage the best talent. My name is Jenny Williams. I'm one of the talent acquisition managers at Employment Hero. A little bit about myself. I have around 10 years of experience in international recruitment, hiring for both global companies and fast-paced SaaS and tech startups. Since joining Employment Hero in 2020, I've been incredibly proud to contribute to our company's exponential growth that's been happening over the 4.5 years. And now I'd like to introduce my fantastic co-host, Daniella.
Thanks, Jenny. Hello, everyone. I'm Daniella Angel. I'm a talent acquisition partner at Employment Hero. Currently leading the UK's hiring efforts during an exciting period of growth for us. My background is that I've got about a decade of experience. Specializing specifically in building talented go-to-market teams for tech startups, scale-ups, everything from entry-level roles to senior leadership positions. And I'm really passionate about fostering diverse and inclusive workplaces. I think that's such an important part of any hiring strategy. So that's a little bit about me. We're going to dive into our agenda next, which I'm going to take you through. So today, what we want to do really is cover three key stages of the hiring process. So we're going to go through talent identification, which is where we're going to show you simple ways to uncover hidden talent pools using as many free tools as possible, as many accessible tools as possible. We'll show you some creative search techniques. We'll show you how to build a referral program. And we're also going to look at Employment Hero's Smart Match and how that can simplify sourcing for you. Next, we're going to go through talent attraction, which is where we'll cover how to attract top candidates by building a really strong EVP, writing job ads that stand out, and leveraging tech to boost your reach. Then we're going to go through talent engagement. So we're going to talk through how to engage candidates by nurturing relationships, delivering a standout candidate experience, and give you tips on how tools like Employment Hero could make onboarding and your talent process really seamless. And then finally, we'll run through the recap and takeaways. So just recapping the key strategies for identifying, attracting, and engaging talent that we've talked through today, and hopefully leave you with some really actionable steps to improve your hiring process. And then finally, if we get time, we're going to try and answer some of your questions from the chat box. So don't forget, it's open and you can ask us anything. So moving on to the next slide.
Excellent. It sounds like we're ready to get started, and we're going to be kicking things off with talent identification, where we'll focus on how to find the best candidates. So, to hire the right people, you need the right tools. And these 6 strategies will help you find and attract top talent. We're going to cover each of these in granular detail and provide you some practical steps to apply them in your business. So, to run through, these are what we firstly identify as the inbound method. So, job ads, these are vital to ensure the right candidates can find you. Referrals are one of the fastest and most effective ways to hire. Your team know great people, so tap into their networks. And recruiters, many businesses turn to recruitment agencies for hard to fill roles, but they can be quite costly. But the good news is you don't always have to use them, and we're going to show you how to build a direct hiring strategy that saves you money while attracting top talent. Now, for the outbound method, we're going to be looking at talent pipelining. This is about building a talent pipeline, maintaining relationships with potential future hires so that when a role opens up, you've already got a pool of engaged candidates. Headhunting and search. This might be new for some, but it is primarily used for niche or high value roles. Headhunting can be really great to attract and engage with candidates rather than just waiting for applications. And you can identify and reach out to top talent directly. And Smart Match. So finally, this is an automation tool that can save you time, and we're going to talk you through Employment Hero's Smart Match feature. So we're going to now dive into these in finer detail. We're going to break each of these down in the next section with some actionable steps to help you put them into practice and start hiring with confidence. So I'll now hand it back over to Dennis, and she's going to kick off with our inbound hiring methods.
Thanks, Jen. Yes, so we're going to talk about the traditional methods of hiring, which is all around inbound hiring strategies. And these really focus on attracting candidates who are already active in the market and perhaps looking for work. So the most common inbound methods include job advertising, using recruitment agencies and leveraging employee referrals. And these approaches will help you tap into a pool of candidates who are pretty ready to apply and start quite quickly. Whilst inbound hiring can fill roles fast, it's important to still be strategic. So in the next slides, we'll break down each method so you can make sure you're using them really effectively and in a way that still helps you find the right fit for your business.
Nice one. So, advertising, it still remains one of the most essential ways to attract candidates. It's an inbound approach, meaning that candidates are going to come to you. And when done right, it's a really powerful tool to bring in high quality talent. So, even though it is the more traditional approach, it's still a vital part in your hiring strategy. So, think of it as putting a help wanted sign out there, but in a way that really speaks to the best people. So, starting off, write a job advert that attracts, not just informs. A great job ad just isn't a checklist of duties, it's your pitch to potential candidates. You want it to grab attention and make people excited about the opportunity. So, this is a good time to showcase your company culture, maybe highlight your benefits, and explain to someone why they would want to join your team. So, yeah, just instead of listing the responsibilities, why don't you tell a story? Why is this role important? What impact will this hire have in your business? So, for example, rather than maybe just, manage social media accounts as a responsibility, you might like to try something like shape our online presence and connect with thousands of customers. It's all about making your business stand out in a sea of listings. Now we're going to maximize your reach across multiple platforms. So where you post your job ad is really important as it's just as important as much as you write it. So using a variety of job boards can help you reach out to active job seekers. Don't just stick to the big kind of generic job boards, you might want to consider industry-specific boards like local communities and utilize platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook. Think about where your ideal candidate is likely to look. So we'll cover where to post for maximum reach later in this masterclass. Now you want to optimize your ads for visibility and relevance, making sure that the right people actually see your ad, in other words. So, optimization is like putting a spotlight on your job ad so it stands out in the search results. Think of it like when you search for something online, you might want to use specific words. So, job seekers are going to do the same. So, clear job titles. Use really precise and common job titles. Rather than, looking for a rock star or a ninja, maybe you want to try something really specific like a marketing coordinator or a customer service representative. This helps your ad show up when people search for those types of roles. So keywords, including keywords that your ideal candidate might use in their search. So again, for example, if you're hiring a graphic designer, you might like to include some terms like Adobe Creative Suite, Photoshop, or UI UX. You can find these by looking at similar ads or using online keyword research tools. Another great tool to use is screening questions. So, using things like screening questions to filter out unqualified candidates will save you time and ensure that you're only looking at the best fits. So, again, for example, you might ask a question in part of the application process. Do you have experience in XYZ, or are you available to work, for these specific type of hours? So, I guess generally, why would you optimize the job ad? It's about, first of all, increasing your visibility. Your ad will show up higher in search results. Secondly, attract the right people. You'll get applications from candidates who have the right skills and the experience that you need. And thirdly, save you time. You'll spend less time sifting through irrelevant applications. So, advertising is a really foundational piece of your hiring strategy, but it's just the starting point. The talent attraction section of this masterclass is where we'll go into deeper detail about writing like compelling job ads and showing you exactly where to post those job ads. So, yeah, stick with us. There's plenty more to come.
Thanks, Jen. We're going to move on to referrals next. And why, first of all, why referrals work. So a little bit about referrals. They are a powerhouse for hiring. We know we use them very regularly here. Our team love to refer people. But really, referrals are really fast. They're very cost effective. They bring in amazing kind of pre-vetted talent. Your employees essentially know your company culture really well. So they'll recommend great fits automatically. Plus, it's a really good boost for employee morale as they feel quite directly involved in building the team. So think of it as tapping into a trusted internal network of talent, giving you a head start in finding the perfect candidate. So how are we building a simple referral program? So in order to create a successful referral program, it doesn't need to be complicated. We can keep things really, really simple. So the first thing that you want to do is start by defining the roles that you're hiring for. Be really specific. Talk about what you need, whether it's a marketing coordinator with strong social media skills, and then make it really appealing. So talk about what you're going to offer to the person or the employee that makes the referral. So are you going to offer a reward like a cash bonus or extra time off? So in order to do this, set clear guidelines. Define what a successful referral looks like for your company. So perhaps when a candidate passes probation, that constitutes the successful referral. Also, specify who's eligible to participate and when rewards are paid. sometimes people won't allow, say, the recruiting team or the hiring manager to be a referrer or be eligible in that referral scheme. And document all of that information in a really simple, easy to understand document or online kind of portal where you keep all of your information, just so that everybody has access to that information and can quickly refer to it whenever they need to make a referral, so they understand the parameters of what's acceptable. Next up, share your jobs really effectively. So once you've posted that amazing job ad, you want to kind of let your team know that you're hiring. And the ways that you could do this is by using an ATS to create a dedicated channel, or share open roles with your team, and include a simple brief highlighting in the key in the key responsibilities and skills required. So yeah, make sure that you're highlighting those key skills and responsibilities, so that the person referring knows exactly what they're looking for out of their network. And thirdly, kind of make it really easy for your team to submit referrals. So whether they're doing it through your applicant tracking system, whether there's a Google form, whether you have a dedicated Slack or Teams channel, ensure the process is really straightforward and user-friendly and everybody knows exactly what's expected of them. In terms of maximizing referral success, so the referral program is only really effective if people know about it and use it. So make sure you're keeping it top of mind and you're keeping it kind of front of mind with all your employees as well. The best way to do that is to promote it really regularly. So mention it in team meetings, send out email reminders, use your internal communication platform. Secondly, you can recognize success. So people love to be recognized for the great work that they do. So perhaps publicly acknowledge and celebrate successful referrals. A simple thank you or a small reward goes a long way. Consider a monthly referral champion award to add a touch of friendly competition. It's also a great thing to include. Ensure a smooth candidate experience. This is super important. We want to keep referred candidates happy, engaged, and updated through the process, because a positive experience will encourage your team to continue referring great people. Next up, shout about it. So use visual reminders like postage or digital signage, and encourage managers to personally ask their teams for referrals. That's a really good tip. And finally, make it fun. Keep the energy high, and the program really engaging. Those are the best ways to implement a referral scheme.
Nice
So
one. Thanks, Dennis. So moving on to recruitment agencies. So, look, recruitment agencies can be really useful in some cases, but they're not the only way to find great talent. If you're a small to medium business, you have more control than you think when it comes to hiring. And we want to empower you with the skills and tools to recruit successfully without relying on agencies. So, it's important to consider when and if you need agency assistance. There are going to be times when an agency might be really helpful, like for using them for hiring specialized roles, urgent hires, or if you don't have the internal resources available to dedicate to hiring. But for most roles, there are more cost-effective ways to find top talent yourself, and that's what we're going to look at and help you with today. So, the pros and cons. While agencies can save you time and introduce you to candidates you might not be able to find on your own, they do come with some hefty fees, and they often range between 15 to 25% of a candidate's salary. Plus, they don't always prioritize long term cultural fit, since their goal is to fill a role quickly. So, before you go down that route, consider whether you have the tools to do it yourself. How to hire without a recruitment agency. The good news is you can successfully recruit without one. And by leveraging job ads, employee referrals, and proactive search methods, which we're going to break down in the next section, you can build your hiring expertise and save thousands on fees. Tools like Employment Hero will be able to help you make this easier by streamlining the entire hiring process from job postings to candidate matching. So, I guess our advice is unless your role is extremely time sensitive or niche, there are usually ways around using an agency. With the right strategies, you can develop your own recruitment skills, you can build a really strong talent pipeline, and hire the best people without the extra cost. So, now we're going to take a look at the outbound hiring methods.
Yes, so next up we have proactive hiring methods, which we also could call outbound talent search strategies. And now that we've looked more closely at those inbound strategies, we want to shift into talking about how we can be really proactive in our hiring strategy and ensure that we're actually going out there and being really specific and finding what we want. So this is all about making sure you're honing in on that specific talent that's going to be right for your business, as opposed to kind of waiting for them to come to you. The great stuff about proactive hiring is that it really gives you a lot more control over who you bring into your business. You can be a lot more prescriptive. It's especially powerful when you're looking for niche skills, senior roles, or simply want to build a stronger future-proof talent pipeline. So in this next section, we're going to walk you through some of the most effective outbound strategies, including headhunting and search, and how to actively identify and target top talent. We're going to talk you through talent pipelining, so building a pool of great candidates before you even have a role to fill. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about Smart Match, which is Employment Hero's AI candidate matching tool, and a super exciting thing to be using if you're short for time. All of these methods hopefully will give you access to high quality candidates who might not be actively job hunting. And so, yeah, don't worry if you've never done it before. If you don't know how to do this, we're going to break it down for you in the next section and hopefully give you a little bit more info.
All right. Well, we better jump in and start looking at these proactive methods. So we'll kick things off with talent pipelining. So what this essentially means, it's about building a pool of potential hires in advance. So this ensures you need to expand your team. You already have warm leads. It's saving you time and effort and reducing hiring costs. So it's like having a team of future stars ready and waiting. So, we're going to look at how to create a strong pipeline. So, the best way to do this is to continuously identify great people, even when you're not actively hiring. And here's how. So, stay connected with past applicants who were strong, but maybe not quite the right fit at the time. Network on LinkedIn. So it's really great to engage with potential candidates by commenting on their posts and sending connection requests. Attend industry events or webinars and keep an eye on promising talent. And leveraging platforms like Employment Hero, which features like Smart Match and can proactively connect with the candidates whose skills and experience align with your needs even before you've officially advertised the role. So, where do you store all of these contacts? So, look, if you're using an ATS, an applicant tracking system like Employment Hero, you can create a custom requisition or talent pool. However, if you're not quite using an ATS just yet, a simple spreadsheet works. It's just where somewhere you can track some names, their key skills, and the last time you had an engagement with that candidate. If you do have access to premium tools like LinkedIn Recruiter, Sales Navigator, or CRM, these are also great for building and managing your talent pool. That way you can save profiles, add notes, and keep track of the candidates. Now, keeping your pipeline warm. It's really important that you maintain this. A cold pipeline just won't help you when the hiring time comes. So, some important things to remember is check in with candidates every few months. Just a quick message or an email to stay on their radar. It helps you stay top of mind. You could maybe share some company updates, especially around like growth or exciting new opportunities to keep them engaged. And perhaps you want to invite them to follow your company's LinkedIn page, or maybe attend some of the industry events. So, by keeping relationships warm and when the right opportunity comes up, you'll have interested candidates who know and trust your brand. This will really help save or bypass any recruiter fees and avoid any last minute hiring stress.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jen. That's super helpful. Next up, we're going to go through headhunting and search. So this is really exciting for us to share a little bit more information here and I guess impart some of our knowledge to all of you as small business owners. And you know, headhunting might sound like something scary and tricky that perhaps only big corporations and big companies do, but it's not about that at all. It's just really about being proactive and finding the right people for your business instead of waiting for candidates to come to you. So we want to empower you to go out, identify the best talent in your industry or your local community, and so now we're going to just explore how to do that, even if you've never done it before. So the first thing that you want to be doing here is really defining your ideal candidate. So before you even start searching, be really crystal clear on what you're looking for. Consider the job titles. Some roles have many different job titles. What are the skills? What's the experience that your ideal candidate should have? And think beyond the basics. What are the specific tools or software or industry expertise that they need? Having clarity on all of this will help you make your search more targeted. So think about all of that stuff. Make sure you've got it all written down. And you should be ready to get going. Next up, you want to be able to create and craft a really effective search string. So a search string is simply a combination of keywords and phrases that you enter into a search bar, and it's going to make your search more precise and a bit more prescriptive. Don't worry if you've never built a search string before. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can use an AI tool, perhaps ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok. There are a few examples of AI tools. You can pop in all of those skills, experience, tools, software, industry, all of that stuff into your AI tool, and you know the job title as well, and it will help you create something that you can then put into to LinkedIn or wherever else. So, for example, if you're looking for a marketing manager with experience in social media and content creation, an AI tool might suggest a search string like marketing and social media strategy and content marketing and SEO. So what you're going to do then is literally copy and paste this string into the LinkedIn search bar or wherever it is that you're searching, Facebook, and anywhere else. Next up is where to go to search. So LinkedIn kind of remains the go-to platform for finding professionals, but don't limit yourself. Not all professionals are on LinkedIn, particularly in perhaps the construction industry, hospitality industry. So there are other places, and you do need to think outside the box in terms of where you're searching for these people. Moving back to LinkedIn though, we're just going to think about how we master the LinkedIn search bar, because even if you're not on a premium account, there are ways that you can hack it. So keywords are key, first and foremost. Think like your ideal candidate. What words would they use to describe themselves? How would they be branding themselves? And then use those keywords in your search along with relevant job titles. For example, like I mentioned before, marketing manager and SEO and content strategy. And then there are some filters that are available to you. So you can refine the search using filters like location, industry, company size, and seniority level. So that's how you kind of get your search in. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about spotting a great candidate. How do you do that? So the first thing that you're looking for is relevant experience. So you want to kind of scan through and look for candidates with a clear track record of success in similar roles. It might be that their skills are matching up. So do their skills align with your requirements? Are you looking at their profile and seeing if they've got any endorsements and certifications? Are they active on LinkedIn and engaging with people? Do they share insightful content or participate in industry discussions? Do they have any video content that you can look at? This will show you that they're quite engaged and passionate, and also give you a really good understanding of how they articulate themselves and perhaps perform. Also, check out the recommendations at the bottom of a LinkedIn profile. These are absolute gold for looking at what kind of their past colleagues or supervisors or managers are saying about them that highlight their strengths. So those are kind of really core things to look at. Of course, when you're searching through as well, don't forget to look at like job titles in order to quickly identify who you want to pick out. Beyond LinkedIn, you can explore many other platforms. So think outside the box here. Go to TikTok, go to Instagram. For creative roles, you could perhaps look at GitHub, Stack Overflow, for your tech talent. You could use X, formerly known as Twitter. You could use LinkedIn groups for sales, marketing, or customer focused positions. For hospitality and retail, you might want to check out Facebook groups or neighborhood apps. But ultimately, the more channels that you explore, the richer your talent pool will be. So that would be a really big bit of advice there, is think outside the box. And again, if you're not sure where to look, leverage a tool like AI to ask that question and find out where are the best places that you could search. The next thing to look at is quite an obvious one, but a really, really effective one when it comes to hiring, and that's targeting competitor companies within your industry. So one of the fastest ways to find great talent, particularly if you have quite a niche role that requires industry experience, is by seeing who is working at companies similar to yours. So say, for example, you run a SaaS business and you need a sales executive. Check out similar companies in your industry, check out competitors, look at professionals who might not be actively job seeking, but could be open to new opportunities. And for local hires, like I mentioned before, community networks like Facebook groups, Slack channels, local job boards could be a goldmine for finding talent in your area. So by combining all of these strategies and these ideas, defining your candidate, leveraging AI to craft your search strings, exploring multiple platforms, and even targeting competitor companies, you'll build a really robust talent pool that gives your hiring process a competitive edge. And this is just the first steps. We will go through exactly how to reach out and how to engage with these candidates shortly, and so that you know exactly how you're going to bring them into your hiring process.
Absolutely. So before we go into all of the tips and the tricks, the last thing we wanted to cover off is an alternative way to streamline your hiring process and save time. And that's with another AI solution that's embedded in Employment Hero, and that's our Smart Match tool. It uses AI to analyze hundreds of data points, things like skills, experience, location, and even job seeker preferences, in order to match you with candidates who are the best fit for your role. So rather than, again, waiting for applications, Smart Match potentially and proactively identifies talent for you. It integrates with Employment Hero's recruitment ATS system, helping you build a short list without having to manually sift through stacks of CVs. So on average, it can probably reduce your hiring time of up to 2 weeks. We've used it ourselves and it's a really, really great tool. Plus, with 1 million active candidates and thousands more joining each month, it gives you access to a constantly growing talent pool. So if you're using Employment Hero, it's definitely worth exploring how this can work alongside your current processes and how you can embed it in your hiring strategies just to take some of that workload off your plate. And if you'd like to see Smart Match in action, you can check out some info videos on our YouTube, or please reach out to our sales team for a quick demo on how this could work for your business.
Brilliant. So next up, and now that we've kind of covered where to find great candidates, it's time to focus on how to attract them to your business. So on the next slide, yeah. So in this section, we're going to break down the key strategies that will help you stand out in a competitive market. So we're going to cover employment value proposition, or EVP, which is essentially letting people know why people should choose your company over others. We're going to talk about how to write compelling job ads that don't just list requirements, but actually sell the opportunity. We're going to look at where and how to advertise for maximum reach. We're going to look at how to engage passive candidates who aren't actively job seeking, and how to use technology to streamline the process. And finally, we're going to go through effective screening techniques, so you can quickly identify the best people without wasting your time. And hopefully by the end of this section, you'll have a clear, actionable plan to attract top talent without relying on expensive recruiters. So let's get it started.
Let's get started indeed. And we're going to get started with EVP, which stands for Employer Value Proposition. And it's essentially what makes your business a great place to work. Think of it as the why behind your company. Why should someone choose to work for you and choose you over another business? It's the unique mix of culture, benefits, opportunities, and overall experience that your employees get when they join your team. So, a strong EVP not only helps you attract top talent, but it also keeps your existing employees engaged and loyal. So, define what makes you unique. The first step in building your EVP is defining what makes your company special. Do you offer flexible working arrangements? Have you got strong career development opportunities? Or maybe just a close knit supportive team? Maybe your mission and purpose set you apart. So, gathering feedback from your current employees, ask them what they love about working for you. This will really help you identify the key themes that make up an EVP. So, if you're unsure, you can check out what other companies in your industry are saying to get some inspiration. But let's align your EVP with the candidate's priorities. So once you've defined your EVP, the next step is making sure it resonates with the talent you're trying to attract. Candidates today have different expectations than they did a few years ago. Many job seekers are prioritizing flexibility, career progression, and a strong workplace culture. So, if you really offer great learning and development programs or a strong sense of purpose, make sure you're shouting about it. Think about what your ideal hire is looking for in an employer and highlight some of those elements in your job ad and outreach messages. So, to communicate your EVP consistently, it's time to embed that into your hiring strategy. Your job ad should reflect it. It should be on your careers page where you can showcase it. And even on your social media presence, it should reinforce what you stand for as an employer. Consistency is key. Candidates should get a clear and compelling picture of your company no matter where they engage with your brand. That's if you have a website or a LinkedIn page, make sure you showcase employee testimonials, team photos, and insights into your company culture. A strong EVP doesn't just help with hiring, it's also going to build a great reputation that attracts top talent over time. So, your EVP is one of the most powerful tools in your talent attraction toolkit. It takes time to define it, but once you align it with your candidates' wants and communicate it effectively, you'll naturally start attracting the right people into your business.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jen. So next up, we're going to talk about how to write a compelling job ad. So first things first is the intro and the hook. We want to get them with a really strong opening. So a well-crafted job ad isn't just about listing the responsibilities. It's really your first chance to sell the role and your business to potential hires. So the first few sentences in that hook are really going to be critical. Um, Candidates will skim dozens of adverts. So you want to grab their attention really quickly. And that's going to be really important to nail how to do that. So instead of perhaps, I don't know, starting with a dry list of job duties or responsibilities, think about what that hook is that's going to tell them why this opportunity is really exciting. So an example of something that's not very engaging would be we're looking for a marketing manager to join our team. But instead, perhaps you could reframe it and say something along the lines of, are you a creative marketeer looking to make a real impact in a growing startup or small business? Join us and help shape our brand's future. Think about what makes this role really exciting, whether it's the chance to work on innovative projects, a great team culture, or opportunities with career growth, and lead with that. Next up, you want to sell the opportunity, not just the role. So a lot of job ads really focus on what the company needs instead of what the candidate will gain. So try flipping the script and showcase what makes your company a great place to work. Um, as Jen was saying before in the EVP section, we want to be highlighting company culture. What's it like to work with you? Are you a fun, collaborative business? Are you a flexible company? What kind of benefits can you offer from that, from a culture perspective? Talk about the growth opportunities that might be available to this person. Will this role allow them to develop new skills, take on leadership responsibilities? Will it allow them to work on exciting projects? Really kind of entice them in with those exciting opportunities to work on. And finally, if it's possible and it's not too confidential, share the salary range where possible. That always makes things really helpful. Showcase your benefits and perks. Remote work options, team events, learning budgets, they're all massive selling points. So make sure you're including those. Um, if you're not sure how to position your company, take inspiration from other businesses doing this well. Check out job ads from companies that you admire, see how they frame their employer brand, and definitely, use that in your inspiration. The other thing to think about is making it really clear, concise, and inclusive. So a great job ad should be super easy to read. There shouldn't be any jargon in there. It should also welcome a really diverse range of applicants. The best way to do that is to keep it short and structured. So use bullet points, clear headings, so that candidates can quickly scan for the key details. They're not going to spend hours reading this. They want all of the key information to stand out to them very quickly. Avoid overly specific requirements. So instead of saying things like must have 5 years of experience in X, Y, and Z industry, try experience in X industry. Because that is preferred, but we welcome applications from all backgrounds. And then finally, use inclusive language. So again, AI can really help with this in nailing it down, but there are certain words that can be used in job advertisements, which can unintentionally discourage applicants. So, for example, words like rock star, ninja, which we spoke about earlier, they can be a little bit off-putting. So instead, really focus on skills and values that you're looking for and ensuring that language piece is really inclusive and engaging. The goal is to attract the best talent. We don't want to filter people out unnecessarily. So that's really key. Bonus tip here is that if you're struggling, you're having a bit of writer's block, you're not sure how to kind of come up with something really compelling, like I mentioned before, leveraging AI tools ChatGPT, job description generators, which are built into Employment Hero, um, Gemini. There are so many out there. They're going to help you really refine your wording and also give you time back to invest into your business rather than sort of sweating over what, a compelling job ad looks like. So do that. Check out your competitors, see what they're doing, get some inspiration there. We don't want to plagiarize anything, but we do want to take inspiration, and find out what they're doing well. How can you make yours even better? So to wrap this up, your job ad is your first impression. It should be super engaging. It should be candidate focused. It should be easy to read. And those are the core points that you want to remember moving forward.
Lovely. So now we're going to look at where and how to advertise for maximum reach once you've crafted that job ad. So we'll talk about, choosing the right job boards. The first step is making sure your ad is posted in the right places. So general job boards like Seek, Indeed, and LinkedIn, or whatever's popular in your region, are great for reaching a broad audience. But don't forget about industry specific platforms. So, for example, if you're hiring for creative roles, sites like Behance or Dribble could be useful. But if you're in tech, check out Stack Overflow jobs or even GitHub as well. If budget is a bit of a concern, look for free listing options. Some platforms like LinkedIn allow limited free postings, and Employment Heroes job board lets you advertise roles at no cost. Now, leveraging social media is probably one of the most unrated or underutilized tools for hiring, yet it's where so many people spend all of their time. So, beyond just posting on LinkedIn, for example, consider sharing job ads on Facebook. X, Instagram, and even TikTok. More and more companies are using TikTok to showcase their culture and attract Gen Z candidates. So you could also post a status update on your personal LinkedIn page. Many business owners find great candidates just by putting out a simple message like, "We're hiring, looking for this role to join our team." If you or someone might know who's a great fit, get in touch. Encourage employees to do the same. Word of mouth is really, really powerful. Now, maximizing your website and network. Your careers page is a key asset in attracting talent. So make sure your job openings are easy to find and clearly highlight your EVP. Why should someone want to work for you? What makes your business stand out? Is your EVP strong? It can be the deciding factor for candidates choosing between multiple opportunities. So finally, tap into your existing network. Send a direct message to past colleagues or contacts in your industry who also might know someone who is great. Employee referrals can also be hugely valuable asset here. So I guess in summary, by using a mix of job boards, social media, and your network, you'll ensure your job ad reaches the right people. In this next section, we're now going to talk about how to engage passive candidates because the best talent isn't always actively looking for a job.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jen. So yeah, next up, how to reach out to passive candidates. And this is going to take us back to our headhunting piece that we were talking through earlier. So when reaching out to passive candidates, the key is to make it personal. These people aren't actively job hunting. They probably get lots of reach outs from various different recruiters or businesses. So a generic message is not going to cut it. And we're going to help you conquer that and make it really exciting. So first up is personalized and thoughtful outreach. So have a look at their profile, read it through. Start by referencing something really specific from there. Maybe there's a project they worked on, a post that they've shared, a standout skill. Maybe there's a YouTube video that you've watched of their work or them public speaking. Flattery will get you everywhere. Everyone likes to feel noticed and valued, and I always think it's a great thing to start off a message by telling someone what you really like about them or their experience rather than who you are. Focus on them first. Next up, think about adding a short video intro to your message. This is always a little bit unexpected. It's quite personal. It shows that you've put in extra effort. It could be a 30-second clip explaining why you think they would be a great fit and can help you stand out from the crowd, but also a really nice way to keep things really personable and stand out in a tough, crowded market with lots of recruiters doing lots of approaches. So definitely something to try out. Next up is the power of a strong hook. We talked about this earlier, but what makes your role unique? Why should this candidate be interested in your opportunity? So highlight the exciting challenges, the growth potential, the unique aspects of your company culture. Those are great ways to hook somebody in. Something that we do, and we always have great success from it, is to create a shareable PDF or a one-pager, which goes beyond a typical job description. So it's a visually appealing one-page document that includes maybe the role overview in a really compelling way. So briefly describing the role and its impact, perhaps a little bit of a company snapshot. So showcasing your company mission, culture, values, all of that kind of stuff. EVP highlights, so including key benefits, perks, opportunities, maybe even a few testimonials in there. So you could add quotes from current employees about their positive experience. This is such a nice way to give somebody all of the information on a separate document so that you can keep your messaging really quick, clear, succinct, and hook them in and then get them to open up that extra information. Next up is taking a multi-channel approach. So let's talk LinkedIn logistics first of all. On LinkedIn, frustratingly, unless you have a premium account which gives you in-mail access, you need to send a connection request first in order to be able to message someone. So keep your intro message concise and compelling. Reference something from their profile. I think you're limited to 300 characters in that initial connection message. So you can just make sure that you keep that super compelling, maybe add a quick snapshot as to why you want to connect with them. Beyond LinkedIn, there are tools out there we've used in the past. Rocket Reach, there's one called Lucia. There may be others, so definitely check out Google and see if you can find them. But these tools will help you find professional email addresses and phone numbers whilst being compliant with data protection, and it will allow for a more detailed communication strategy. So say, for example, you do manage to get someone's email address, you might be able to just reach out to them with slightly more detailed email and more about what you're looking to connect with them about. And finally, explore other platforms. If you've seen a candidate perhaps on LinkedIn or somewhere else, you could see if they are on X or Instagram, or you could look at Slack communities. These are great. Again, utilize Google to find Slack communities that could be really valuable depending on the industry or the role that you're working for, trying to hire for, and you can engage potential candidates and then reach out directly via those channels. Finally, well, not finally, actually, ABC, always be closing. So end your message with a clear call to action, whether it's suggesting a quick chat or offering to share more information. Always kind of have that little call to action in there. It's a really good tip. Finally, follow up is super important. So passive candidates, like I mentioned before, they might be getting lots of messages. They might not read it initially. They might not respond immediately. So So feel free to follow up. I think persistence always pays off. Drop them another note, perhaps in a couple of days or a week after, with be persistent within reason. But that can really work in your favor. Um, this really, this kind of this first reach out to a passive candidate is the moment to make a really good first impression. So personalized, thoughtful outreach is often what sets you apart from dozens of recruiters using the same tired templates and methods. Make sure you're getting creative, stand out, and you'll 100% see better results.
Amazing. Really, really great tips there. Thanks so much, Danez. And I guess the last, or one of the last pieces of the puzzle is really the technology component. So it can really help small business owners stand out in the hiring processes, particularly when, yeah, time and resources are pretty limited. So yeah, we're going to talk about leveraging automation tools. So using things like an applicant tracking system, simplifying the process. It lets you post job ads in multiple platforms with one click, managing all your applications in a single place, and even automate tasks like interview scheduling and follow-ups. Plus, it also makes it easy to build and maintain a talent pool for future roles, saving you time down the track. And if you're not using an ATS, simple tools like a CRM or spreadsheet can help track applicants and key data details. But yeah, an ATS like an Employment Hero is really what's going to help you remain more compliant and then scaling up your processes down the track. Boosting visibility and using AI and algorithms. So AI powered matching, many ATS platforms and job boards are now using AI to match candidates with relevant jobs. This means your job ads are more likely to be seen by the right people. So ensure your job descriptions include relevant keywords and skills to help these algorithms identify the best matches. And targeted advertising. Platforms like LinkedIn and Indeed allow you to use AI to target your job ads to be in, I guess, specific demographics. It also looks at interests and even job titles. So this ensures your job ads are going to reach the most relevant and qualified candidates. Now it's time to get creative with engagement. Think beyond text. Use graphics, testimonials, or a company video embedded in the post that showcases your company culture. Interactive content. Consider using quizzes or assessments to engage candidates and make the application process more interactive. And use video to introduce your company, showcase your workplace, or even conduct virtual interviews. The goal is to really use tech to amplify your message and get in front of the right people while keeping it really simple and authentic.
Awesome. Next up, we're going to go through screening and filtering applications. And just a quick time check as well to let everybody know that we are approaching that 1 hour mark very quickly. We do have another couple of sections to go through, so please do bear with us. It might mean that we don't have time in the, for questions at the end, but we're going to try and get through this as quickly as possible so that you will get the information that you need without having to spend too much longer. So yeah, screening and filtering applications. When it comes to screening and filtering applications, the key is to be clear and efficient from the very start. So we've talked about this many times before, but first we want to define our must-have criteria, things like the essential skills, the minimum experience, the necessary qualifications, and having this clear checklist before diving into applications is going to really help you avoid that decision fatigue and stay really focused on what truly matters for the role when you're kind of filtering through lots and lots of applications. Once you have that list, utilize tools that help you filter through candidates faster. So if you're using an ATS, things perhaps like Employment Hero or something else, it can help you automatically sort candidates based on keywords, qualifications, other data points that you might be looking to filter by. If you're not using an ATS and you've perhaps got your role posted on a job board, where you're viewing your applications, most job boards also have a filtering function which can help narrow it down and highlight the top candidates and sort of filter out anyone that potentially is not quite right for the role. To make this process even smoother, try adding some screening questions to the application form when you're initially setting up your job advert. So a simple yes or no question can help you qualify or disqualify candidates right away. Right away. So, for example, you might ask, do you have full working rights? Are you equipped for remote work? And this will save you time and ensure only suitable candidates make it to your shortlist. Remember, the goal is to spend less time digging through unsuitable applications and more time really focusing on the candidates who are the best match for your business. And if you're using tools like Employment Hero, you can automate a lot of this process, which will give you more time to focus on the human side of hiring. Over to
All
you, Jen, for the
right.
slide.
Yes, over to me for our last section. So, thanks for staying with us, everyone. We really just wanted to talk about the talent engagement and, why nurturing relationships and delivering an exceptional candidate experience is, yeah, the last piece of the puzzle. It's all about building meaningful relationships with your potential hires, not just about filling the role. Even if someone's not right for the role right now, how you engage with them today can influence their future interest in your opportunities. So, we're going to quickly walk through some simple ways to strengthen your talent engagement strategy. Building genuine connections. So, we will say that smaller businesses have a unique advantage here. You can offer a personal touch that larger companies often can't. Take the time to understand each candidate's motivations, career goals, and even their interests outside of work. This helps you connect on a human level and build rapport. So instead of solely relying on email, try hopping on a quick video call or a phone chat, even a face to face interaction or virtually if you're remote first. This will build trust and really shows candidates you value their time. Personalized and transparent communications. Generic mass messages are not going to cut it. Tailor your communications to each candidate. Reference their specific experience, their skills, or even a recent post that they made online. This shows that you've done your homework and that you genuinely care. And transparency is crucial, especially for small businesses where trust is paramount. If timelines shift or a role isn't progressing anymore, keeping candidates informed is really important. This will build trust and keeps the door open for future opportunities. Now, elevating the interview experience. Remember, interviews are a two-way street. Candidates are assessing you just as much as you're assessing them. So make it conversational, not an interrogation. Set the stage for a positive experience by being really clear about your expectations. Explain the interview process and agenda, who they'll be meeting, what the timelines look like. These kind of small touches like sending a thank you email or promptly following up with next steps really make a big difference. For a deeper dive into interview strategies, we've actually hosted a previous webinar about elevating your interview process for success. So we can include that in that masterclass as well. We'd also consider nurturing candidates throughout the process. Even if a candidate isn't perfect fit for the current role, you need to nurture that relationship. They might be, ideal for a future opportunity. So things to remember is staying in touch, send an occasional check-in, relevant industry news or articles or company updates. Providing feedback, even if they don't get the job, offer constructive feedback on their application or interview, and invite them to events. If you host webinars or networking events, invite them to attend. This is ongoing engagement, keeps your company top of mind, and builds a pool of qualified candidates for future roles. Now, creating brand advocates, we really love this one. Every interaction with a candidate shapes your employer brand. Even those who don't get the job can become advocates if they have a positive experience. So, encourage happy candidates to share their experiences on platforms like LinkedIn or Glassdoor. Positive word of mouth is incredibly powerful, especially for small businesses. And lastly, but most importantly, close the loop, particularly with feedback. Ghosting candidates is a major frustration for job seekers. So always provide feedback regardless of the outcome. How to deliver that feedback is be timely, provide feedback soon after the interview or decision, the decision's been made. Use the sandwich method. Start with some positive feedback, then offer constructive criticism and end on a positive note. Be objective. Focus on specific examples and behaviors, not subjective opinions. And use the phone for a more sensitive feedback delivery, especially on rejections. A phone call is a more personal touch and allows for a conversation. So that rejected candidates, constructive feedback can turn disappointment into respect. For successful candidates, detailed feedback helps them feel valued and prepared for their new role. When you're consistently creating thoughtful, human centered candidate experiences, you're not just hiring, you're building a network of people who advocate for your brand. And that's whether they join the team or not. Daniela is now going to break this down into the golden rules that make talent engagement second nature.
Absolutely. So let's break down talent engagement into three simple but very powerful rules. These are the foundations that help you build meaningful connections with candidates, no matter the size of your business. And if you get these right, you'll leave lasting impressions that go beyond just filling a role. So first up is be human. People hire people. Hiring is about people. It really is. It's easy to get caught up in CVs, resumes, qualifications, checklists, interviews, the admin, everything. But don't forget that candidates are individuals with their own motivations and emotions. So you want to approach conversations with empathy and curiosity. Whether it's a casual phone call, a video chat, or an in-person coffee catch-up, showing genuine interest makes people feel seen and valued. Small businesses have a real advantage here because you can offer more of a personal touch than larger corporations. So make sure you're getting in a quick check-in, a personal message, or even a simple thank you, which is going to make all the difference for those candidates. Next up is being transparent. Honesty builds trust. So, transparency is one of the quickest ways to build trust with candidates. Be upfront about salary ranges, working conditions, challenges in the role. That's a really, really important one. What success looks like. It avoids misunderstandings later and shows candidates that you value honesty. Even if the news isn't what they want to hear, like perhaps delays in the process or changes in the role, you've got to keep candidates informed. It maintains your credibility. So people would rather hear the truth than be left guessing. And finally, be consistent. So regular touch points leave lasting impressions. Consistency is key in creating a memorable candidate experience. From the first message to the final offer or even a rejection, every interaction shapes how a candidate views your brand. That means consistent communication, tone, and follow up. So if you say you'll get back to someone by Friday, make sure you do it. Even simple touch points like updates on timelines or sharing where they stand in the process, those can go a really long way. Consistency also extends to your employer brand. So make sure you're being really consistent with that employer brand throughout. Candidates will see, hopefully, the same values reflected in your job ads, your social posts, your interviews, and through your onboarding. So to wrap up these three golden rules, being human, transparent, and consistent, they don't require big budgets. They don't require fancy tools. They're super simple, super effective ways to create meaningful connections that set you apart from your competitors. And the best part is that candidates will remember how you've made them feel, and that can turn into a long-term brand advocate for your business, even if they don't land the role. Remember, people can leave reviews on places like Glassdoor. You want to make sure that you're giving them a really fantastic experience throughout the whole process.
Absolutely. Really great tips there. Thanks, Daniela. So before we close, we did want to recap and share some of the important takeaways for each stage of your hiring process. So remember that finding and hiring the best talent doesn't have to be a struggle. It's all about having the right strategies in place. So to recap back on talent identification, think of this as building your talent treasure map. We talked about using a mix of approaches in finding those hidden gems. Traditional methods like job ads and referrals are great, but don't be afraid to get proactive with headhunting and talent pipelining. And hey, don't forget about technology. Tools like Employment Hero and Smart Match can really do some of that heavy lifting for you, connecting you with potential candidates even before you start your search. Talent attraction. Once you've found those amazing superstars, it's time to make your company shine. Showcase what makes you unique, your company culture, values, and benefits. Create job ads that really get people excited, not just listing some dull requirements. And remember, it's not just about the job ads and the job boards. Get creative with social media, headhunting, and even a bit of AI magic to reach the right candidates. And talent engagement. So now this is where the real magic happens. Treat your candidates like gold, build genuine connections, keep things really transparent, and make the whole experience awesome. From the first hello to the final feedback. Remember that every interaction counts. You're not just filling the role, you're building relationships and turning candidates into your biggest fans, whether they join your team or not. So there you have it. By following these strategies, you'll be well on your way to building a dream team that will take your business to the next level. But lastly, Daniela has a top hero tip to share with us.
I do indeed. Thank you for bearing with us, everyone. So our top hero tip is leveraging AI and technology, and it's actually something that we are absolutely embracing at Employment Hero at the moment as well. So embrace the power of technology to transform your hiring process. When it comes to the tougher parts, like overcoming writer's block, crafting an engaging hook for your job ads, structuring a compelling employer value proposition, or even generating thoughtful questions, AI tools like we spoke about earlier, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, there's many more out there. They're all game changers. They'll help you quickly generate creative ideas and refine your messaging so you can attract top talent quickly. At the same time, platforms like Employment Hero can streamline every stage of recruitment, from identifying talent and managing applications to facilitating onboarding. By integrating AI and comprehensive tools like Employment Hero, you're empowered to work smarter. You're going to optimize your processes, and ultimately you're going to achieve better hiring outcomes. So I absolutely encourage you to explore these technologies and see how they can elevate your entire recruitment strategy. These final reminders are your blueprint for transforming your hiring process. So apply all the strategies that you've learned today consistently, and you're going to create a process that attracts, engages, and retains top talent, setting your business up for lasting success. So I hope that's been really helpful and you're all now ready to hire like a hero. We are going to move into Q&A. Actually, Jenny, I'll hand over to you for this last section about Q&A, but I don't think we're going to have time to go over it.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, we've probably run out of time to dive deep into the chat box today. We've seen some really, really great questions to come through. So thank you, everyone that's contributed. What we'll do is we'll pull all the questions together and we'll send out some answers once we've, yeah, I guess wrapped up this recording, and we'll send this to you via email. But thank you so much to every single person that's joined us today. Really, really grateful for your time, and hopefully, you've been able to take away some key learnings and some strategies to implement into your hiring processes.
Yeah, thank you everyone ever so much. Apologies that we've run over today, but I'm really hoping that this has been useful. And like I said, we'll try and get your questions answered. And we hope to see you in the next Hire Like a Hero installment. And yeah, we'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.